Welcome to the Academy for Men's Tribal Fire podcast. I'm Michael Gibson.
And I'm Lance Cole.
Yo, man, you ready to start a fire?
Yeah, let's light it up.
But then there are people in your life who, you know, even this is so powerful. Even if you've been away from each other for years, and you two have maintained the ability to make each other feel good because because you accompany your communication with affirmation, with appreciation, with joy.
Yeah.
With when you see that person, you light up.
Right.
Like that person knows that when they see you, you're gonna light up. Oh man, I've got friends in my life that are just like that. Like when I see them, they're like, "Dude, where you been? How you been? What's going on? How's everything going?"
Right.
And I haven't seen them for years, and it doesn't matter. I automatically feel good about being around that person. I've trained them how to treat me, and they've trained me how to treat them.
Right.
And we can actually give that as a gift to each other. I think oxytocin is one of the greatest gifts you can give another person because that's real love. I challenge you to feel love in your heart and not have oxytocin in your body. I promise it's there. Yeah. It's just there.
It's part of it.
Yeah. That's the emotion being driven by chemicals, and people are like so resistant.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, what are we, just a bunch of chemicals and we're driven by blah 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 and impulses? Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Fuck man, you figured it out. Right? Cat's out of the bag, man.
It's okay.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Use it.
Totally.
Like use that knowledge, man. And the shit that we see on social media, it's the struggle between what chemicals are you going to experience.
Right.
And the people that are saying shit that's just like off and negative and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the one that gets me every single time, I stopped following this woman because she was great and she had good things to say and she was beautiful, but every now and then she just bashed men, just fucking bashed us. And I wrote to her privately one day and I said, I don't get it. Why are you bashing men? She's like, well, there's no good men and blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, you're right. And I unfriended her and I blocked her and I don't spend time looking for her anymore. No, it's true. I
get it. That's.
I don't want that shit in my
this.
feed anymore, man.
Yeah, I don't either.
Do you know?
I don't either.
And yeah, men are fucked up. We got some real challenges as a whole. Like if you look at the transpersonal as men, we're not holding we're not holding up to our side of the bargain, or if there is a bargain at all.
We haven't been.
We haven't been.
Well, it's the telepathic agreements.
We're turning around.
It's all the telepathic agreements that
give us a chance to right the ship.
Has,
it takes a while to right the ship, but we're working on it.
Well, I don't. Diving deeper into the topic of the toxic feminine, toxic masculine stuff. Sure, we're all righting the ship.
Yeah.
Right. And it got so leaned to one direction that it needed to get righted in the way that it's getting righted.
Sure.
And what's happening now, this is another thing I see on social media, is which is what sparked the conversation today about experience, is that the toxic feminine is starting to be called out.
Yeah.
Which is similar to what you were saying about the Me Too movement and all that stuff. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of, and which is a good thing, because I don't think it fully swung into the toxic feminine as far as it could have, or as far as it did with the toxic masculine stuff. So now it's righting itself a little sooner, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Well,
but
humanity
this
needs
this is that huge conversation.
It's like the correction.
Yeah, it's like it's a course correction for humanity, right? So we're all human. I believe that. I get these great shirts that I print. They're human, right?
Yeah.
And
you can almost see it.
You can almost see it.
You have to lift up a little bit. You have to. There it is. #human.
#human.
Yeah.
So
it's a tribal fire jam.
Yeah. there's this whole thing of, because this is happening. I love how this stuff comes like around, and I teased this whole thing out of me. I had no idea what the fuck I was going to be talking about. So what's happening is, here's my take on what needs to happen. What needs to happen is we need to start listening deeper than we have been in the past.
Agreed.
And this is that experience piece that I was talking about. That's how I kind of got into this. Everybody has their experience, and everybody's like, I say this, everybody's aware of their experience, and we don't need to hear your crap. Let's start listening more.
Yeah.
And responding to things more.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like what's beneath what you just said.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like what's next?
Yeah.
What's next is the course correction.
Yep.
And the course correction, and from my perspective, the only way we're going to be able to course correct is if everybody starts listening deeply to each other. Yeah. And really paying attention. And that the only way that happens is self work.
Yeah.
Like doing the inner work and doing courses like Just Add Skill, doing courses like Extraordinary Lovers, doing courses like Bliss, doing courses like ISTA, especially Extraordinary Lovers.
Yeah.
I just like the ability to communicate with your partner, right? And talk about the difficult, talk about the taboo, talk about the cough it up.
Yeah.
Bring it up, whatever, explode it out and clean it up. I can't remember the
cough it up, blow it up, clean it up.
Thank you.
There you go.
Explode. I said explode, right?
That's true. You blow it up.
Explode it up and then clean it up. Like that is priceless in this. That is priceless in this. But it's a okay, here's more. Learning how to create a safe space for communication and conversation. And doing the bubble, which is part of Extraordinary Lovers again.
It's Just Add Skill as well.
Just Add Skill. It's part of a lot of different courses. It's part of so many. So, but learning how to do that.
Yeah.
Learning and being able to discern in the moment, when you're feeling that chemical of frustration and anger and, oh my God, I'm attacked, so I have to respond to an attack because this person said something about toxic femininity and he's a man and, oh my God, what the fuck? And or vice versa, because that sounded very pointed at women, and I don't want to do that because men do the same thing. Because actually, the things I was reading, men were attacking men. So it goes both ways. Like we're all human. We do these things.
Yeah. It's so weird.
And what I'm calling into, I guess, or what I'm trying to call into existence, is a discernment and an acceptance of each other, and a deep listening of each other, so that we can, like, really be present. Like, reflect. Let someone know you heard them. And they made the post. Ask them if it's okay. Or ask them if they want to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
Before you fucking give it.
Yeah.
You don't know what they went through. Like, own your shit.
Yeah.
If you're frustrated and upset, if you feel attacked, it's okay.
Yeah.
Feel that way.
Yeah.
But you don't have to fucking vomit that into the world.
No, and I think there's a real space for having consent be the norm.
Yeah.
Instead of just me attacking your position.
Right.
I don't know your position. Like I could take the stance. I don't know your position. I want to understand your position more, and I'd like you to hear mine.
Right.
And do I have your permission to tease out what it is that you just said, and also give you my perspective on it?
Right. Or, I mean, just simply asking if they'd be
Or
open
can we
to
do a podcast about it? Like maybe we have a conversation, and then maybe it would benefit people to have a live discussion, debate / argument over it.
Right.
And then argument is fine when it's done in a way that is respectful of the other person's position, or respectful of the other person, even if you disagree with their position.
Right.
Right. I think that it's all valuable when it's done in that way, and I can hear better now that I've done some of this work than I could before. I'll give you an example. This is a perfect example. You and Susan were working the other night on accounting stuff.
Yeah.
And you and I I was sitting at the table. I had asked for permission to sit and just hang out.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
And Susan kind of said, hey, listen, we got work to do.
Right.
I mean, that was the gist of what she said. And I looked at her and I said, do I hear a request?
Yeah.
Like, that shocked her. She goes, yeah, I do have a request.
Right.
Go away.
Yeah.
Like, essentially. She didn't say it that way. She was very kind.
Yeah.
She said, well, we have a lot of work to do. And having a conversation that you guys are having right now is not going to get us.
Yeah.
And I want to go home and be with my man and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But essentially, she was like, "I need you to leave because we got work to do."
Yeah.
But I asked her.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a request.
Yeah.
And she got the opportunity to make a request, a powerful request, and I said, absolutely. And
Right.
I went in the other room and actually went and hung out at the fire with Bill. Yeah, man.
It's very adult of you.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Like when you hear something that comes at you that seems like a complaint,
right.
or it seems like maybe it's coming at you because you're
Yes.
like unconsciously doing something that you would normally do with friends anyway.
Yes.
Which was happening.
That's what was happening.
And then a request came, and it was framed not really like a request.
Right.
But that required me to listen.
Right.
Beyond the complaint.
And that took practice. That took experience for
Yeah.
you. You had to go through experiences
Years.
to get to that.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what this is about. Is it like going through your filter system? Because I know so many people that would have taken offense to what she said.
Sure.
Right? Because they can, because what it is, and I'm going to go a little woo.
Sure.
Okay. But I felt her energy.
Mm-hmm.
I felt her frustration.
Yep.
And it presented that way.
Yeah.
And it happened the way that it did, and it was really, really amazing. But you've been through so many of those different experiences where that's happened, where you've realized, hey, wait a second. Okay, she just has a request for me. Yeah. This isn't about me.
Right.
And you don't have to take on her feelings or emotions or whatever is going on for her, and you can just be present to her.
Yeah.
You're present to yourself, you're fully present to her, and everybody's happy. And she's stunned because you heard her.
Yeah.
You looked past her frustration and felt her heart and acknowledged her heart. And she went, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, I do have a request.
Yeah. So
it's like everybody's free. There's so much freedom in that.
It ask yourself the question when someone comes at you like that.
Yeah.
Ask yourself the question: is this a complaint?
Yeah.
Is this a request?
Yeah.
And then the next question I want to ask myself is, how can I empower you?
Yeah.
To make that request.
Awesome.
I mean, let's get right down to it.
Yeah.
What is your request? How can I empower you? There are requests that I make of people, and by the way, like all this stuff is, this is stuff that I've learned over the years, but I've had great mentors. And one of my favorite mentors, because she's so great at it, is Alison Armstrong.
Yeah.
Alison Armstrong taught me how to make a great ask.
Yeah.
I've got a great ask.
Yeah. You're gonna laugh. I'm sorry.
She's the one that says it. She says you got to have a great ask.
I tried to keep a straight face. I couldn't do it.
But it's true. If you ask people great questions like that, like I think I hear a request.
Well, I hear the questions of asking other people, and I also hear the internal dialogue that's going on with you.
Yeah.
Like there's an internal dialogue that's happening. So you have the observer running, and you're being cognizant of what's happening outside of you with the other person.
Yeah, it definitely comes with some awareness. My great ask usually happens this way. If I ask you something, I'll ask something of you. I'll say, here's what I need.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you need from me to be able to give me what I need?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you're like, well, I need a date, I need a time, I need this, I need $150.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
And can you give me what I need? Yes. If I give you those things, yes. Okay. Now we have an agreement.
Right.
No, not so. The problem being that expectations, they're the ones we war against. Yeah. But agreements are expectations that are agreed upon and met.
Right.
That's the beauty of agreements, and this is the kind of conversations that we need to have. This is what we teach in Just Add Skill.
Yeah.
Like men are need to learn how to have conversations with people, not just women, but people, especially women, but people, so that we're getting what we need. And we're providing what's required of us or requested of us if it's requested. The problem is that we don't know how to get to the request. And we take it on as, like an attack.
Yeah.
And that's what we see happening in social media in a lot of ways, I think.
Same thing.
People are just fucking going at it with each other instead of understanding and communicating and getting past the supposed illusory attacks.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just people that are spouting off and saying things that they feel are important to the topic at hand, and they probably don't have a full grasp of the topic.
They can't have a full grasp of the topic.
No conversations.
And what I mean by that, when I say they can't have a full grasp of the topic, is because they haven't engaged in the conversation with the person who wrote what was written.
They don't know the world behind the meme.
They don't know what state the person was in, what their
Right.
experience was fully, or anything like that. Because a lot of this stuff is it's incomplete. It's like memes and statements and maybe 3-4 sentences. Occasionally you get the long ones that are actually pretty explanatory.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are tough to get through. Sometimes.
You know who's really good at that?
Who's that?
Tyron Mowbray. He writes some
I
really good stuff.
Does he write good
Yeah,
stuff?
I like it.
I'll have to check it out.
I repost sometimes.
Yeah.
But you're right. A meme doesn't give the psychology behind
No.
it's like a penny saved, a penny earned.
Yeah.
That's a meme.
Right.
Or a saying, right? There's some sayings that don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
That one kind of doesn't really make any sense
Yeah,
either, because you got to
but
earn it before you save
A
it.
penny saved is a penny earned. How is okay, well, let's tease it out. Don't.
Yeah.
My point is, there's a lot of these little sayings where you think back and you go, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, what's the etymology of that kind of a statement or that kind of a meme? Well, you need to know the psychology of the person who said it,
right.
who created it. Perfect example, if I may. I'm going to tangent
go
us
for it.
just a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
And this is in the form of a story. A woman, a husband noticed that his wife would cut off the end of the ham before she put it into the oven.
Yeah.
You've heard this one?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so he was curious, why do you cut off? Well, my mom did it. Oh, wow,
Right.
okay. Well, so one Christmas, they go over to the parents' house, and the grandparents are there and everybody. And he says to the mother, he says, my wife always cuts off the end of the ham, and I asked her why, and she said, 'cause you do it. And he said, I'm just curious. Why do you do that? She says, oh, it makes it taste better and it does everything. Well, actually, I don't know. My mom did it. Okay. So grandma was there. So he's like, oh, great. Well, at least grandma's alive and he's here. So he goes and he talks to grandma. He says, I talked to your daughter and I talked to your granddaughter. She always cuts the end off of the ham when she puts it in the oven. And she says it tastes better, but I don't know. What is it? And they both say that you're the source of this. So why do you do it? And she looks at him and she goes, oh, honey, back when I was feeding my family, we had these little ovens.
Right.
So she had to cut the end off of the ham
to make it
to fit it in the fucking oven. These are the memes, right? We don't understand the psychology behind the meme until you actually get to the source of it. And how are you going to get to the source of it? By just looking at the meme.
Right.
It becomes a judgment.
Yeah.
I agree or I disagree.
Right.
And then we respond.
Yeah.
And that's what it turned. That's what the whole world of social media has turned into.
Right.
And
it's responding from the safety of your, from behind your force field.
Keyboard,
Yeah.
It's a bizarre it's a bizarre step for humankind to interact this way.
It's a little intense.
It doesn't seem like it's almost like by design it's just surface level.
Yeah.
Like you and I could have a conversation. We've gone pretty deep into this so far.
Yeah.
But we can have a conversation in things where we can step it back and go, wait a minute, I'm not so sure I actually believe that anymore.
Yeah.
If I just think this through, I may have to shift my belief system here a little bit because I'm not so sure that what I just at least Wikipedia the idea, or find out the etymology of it, or talk to the person that memed it,
right?
And get clear on what the fuck they're talking about before just launching your own opinion and attacking theirs,
right?
Or vice versa.
Yeah, it's challenging, man. But it's just the experience of life, and I don't know. Speaking from mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
My experience, I feel like we're on a path of learning to understand that we're all human.
Yeah.
And I could be totally biased on that. I don't know, but I know there's other people out there that feel that same way. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people out there that hate that idea. Like they hate the idea, like they can't get out of whatever belief structure that they are in.
Yeah.
Where there's racism and where there's, hate for another group or whatever it is, and worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, let alone in the United States and the Western world. But there's, at some point, we're all going to learn that we're human,
Mm-hmm.
and that we all have experiences, and some of it's going to be agreed with, and some of it's not, and both, they're both okay.
You know,
Like, it's okay.
sometimes when I travel, often when I travel, I'll meet someone new,
Yeah,
and they'll ask the question, like, "Where are you from?"
sure.
And then I like to fuck with people. So if you ever ask me this question, this is the answer you will get. Actually, I'm from Earth. I was born and raised.
That's awesome.
Both parents are human,
Yeah.
as far as I know. That would make me human. Some people come at me with, what year were you born? What day were you born? Where were you born? I'm like, why?
Why?
Because I want to sort you out through my astrology filter. Like,
God.
I tend to not go that direction.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. I'm like, I'm born and raised from. You want to know? There's only one race. It's the human race, right?
Yeah.
We get that. You and I get that.
I get that.
It's
I
not
totally do.
It's not a black or a Negro race. It's not a brown or Hispanic race or a Latin race. It's not a Caucasian race.
Yeah.
It's the human race.
Mm-hmm.
Like the systems on every single human, despite the color of skin or despite the levels of melanin available,
Right. Chemical
to the skin, right? These are all human beings. The systems are all the same. The heart pumps blood. The brain uses oxygen to think and store knowledge and whatever. And the idea is to keep this system going.
Right.
The point is to keep the system going, and even down to the DNA, where we have to replicate in order for us to be able to continue the species.
Right.
It's a species,
Mm-hmm.
human species, right?
Right.
And people are really fucked up about that.
People, it's yes. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's about the experience. Everybody has, like, we're human beings. We have all the parts that you just described, and we use all the same things,
Mm-hmm.
and we have emotions that go along with that.
Yeah.
And living in those emotions and allowing them to run us in the way that we do, like I do. I let my emotions run me.
Yep.
I haven't met a person that doesn't, to a certain extent. The trick is to want to learn how to embrace all that, right? To embrace your emotions and not let them unconsciously run you, but to bring it into the, the quote unquote light and have it be a conscious, competent thing for yourself. So, but these emotions, they're running us, and what happens is the hate. What happens is the what do you call it? It's the separation.
Fear, competition, scarcity,
which
is not real.
Yes.
So the problem, I'll
crazy.
I don't want to go down that road, but it comes from the fear that there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
That I for the longest time I was afraid of, and I say it on like not often enough, but for the longest time I was afraid of black people. Yeah. And the reason I was afraid of, quote unquote, black people was because I didn't know any.
Sure.
Like I hadn't had any real experience of what it was to be black culturally, physically. Like I have no idea what it's like to be black physically. I know what it's like to be brown.
Sure.
There are some benefits and not so good benefits to that.
Sure.
And I know the racism. Like I've experienced people use racist shit towards me, even though if they talk to me for 5 minutes, they'll find out that I have some semblance of intellect.
Yeah.
My point is that was an irrational fear.
Right.
That was irrational.
Yeah.
That's humanity. Humanity has this level of irrationality that exists. Yeah. And forces, right? The forces of humankind find ourselves at odds. It makes no sense to be on a planet, right? To have the level of resources that we have. We can feed all 7 point whatever billion people are on the planet. We can actually feed them.
Yeah.
40% of all the food produced in the world today gets thrown in the garbage.
Yeah.
40%.
It's insanity.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
The problem is our systems are fucked up. And I don't want to go too far into this. It's illusory. It's not real.
Right.
Scarcity is not real. The scary black man, not real. The scary brown man or yellow man or scary whatever man, not real.
Right.
Aliens,
scary.
They could be scary and they may be real.
It's possible.
We're not sure.
Especially if they look like the alien from the movie Aliens.
Fuck, dude. I don't want anything. Okay. Point being, and that would be a real fear. Right?
Very much.
But this bullshit that we're doing like to each other.
There's like
it's goofy.
I want to do this.
And the experience of our lives drive us in these directions.
It drives us in these directions, and I want to circle this around to experience and coming from that place of experience.
Sure.
The fear that you experienced, whatever it was,
around black people,
is legit.
Well,
no. Wait a minute. Let me go through this.
Okay.
It was legitimate in the moment when you felt it, until your experience changed in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it this way. I don't think I can call it a legitimate fear. I had a fear.
Well, no.
Based on ignorance.
Right. But it was still you. It was still who you were, and it's a valid feeling in your body, no matter what.
Well, it was the experience I had, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So, like, I don't want to... I'm talking about experience. I'm bringing this forward, and I'm talking about it on social media and things like that. But I don't want to put the message out there that people's feelings aren't valid. But message I do want to put out there is your feelings are valid, and start listening deeper, right? And understanding that other people's feelings are valid too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with feeling. Like, I've spent so much of my life learning how to feel. And the moment that I learned how to feel my body and feel feelings in my body, I had to learn how to live with that.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I can feel. What the fuck is this? I got to learn how to manage this. Like, how the fuck do I manage this? Like, I was all over the map for a little bit there. But then I learned how to manage it, right? Through tools, through the workshops that I teach now and different things that I've done. But it's like, I don't want to invalidate a place that someone is at.
I get it. Yeah.
And I want to validate where they're at. And I want to give the gift of saying, you know what? You can have experiences that are going to grow you through whatever you're going through.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like your truth can change.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's in control of that.
I think it's in addition to what you're saying and as a perspective, so my experience, okay, of it, and it was an irrational fear. The experience was real and valid.
But you didn't know it was irrational until you did.
Well, I had to investigate it.
Right. That's my point.
That's what I think that's what you're getting at, that's where I was going, which was, you know what? If you're experiencing fear, check in to know whether or not it's a rational fear or irrational fear.
Right.
Like Shy Fishman said this the other day. I was listening to he had a live thing going on with Level Up Love is one of his programs.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, when I experience fear or I experience some kind of an emotion that seems negative, I have to check in to see if I have all 6 or if there's anything in violation. So the 6 needs of humans, right?
Sure.
And he it was brilliant how he put it out. He laid it out. He goes, am I okay physically? Am I safe? Right? Am I am I empowered? Do I have variety? Do all these 6 needs of human beings? I forget what all they are, but you checking in with those things, and in being able to check in with those 6 needs, he was able to quickly get to the point where he's like, this is an irrational fear.
Right.
And I went, wow, what a tool.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm one of those who goes, fuck, man, I'm scared of something right now. What am I afraid of? Let me check in and see if it's rational or irrational.
Yeah.
That's sometimes people don't even think that way, man. Like,
not many people
for the
do.
most part.
Not
Like,
many people do.
people are like,
yeah.
I'm just feeling things.
Right.
Okay, well,
That's what I mean about
check in.
managing. That's what I mean
Yeah.
about managing it, finding tools to manage and things.
absolutely check in with that shit. See if it's real.
Yeah. Learning how to feel your emotions and move in life with them are two different things.
Right.
You know, you can't have one without the other either.
It's exactly that. And then there's also, the extra added underlying experience of it, which can produce all kinds of emotions and experience.
Yes.
The experience of the emotion, right? That could be, can become an anchor to where you're at, not allowing you to break through it.
Sure.
And then we introduce another tool called emotional release.
Right.
And this is where you can actually get that shit out of your body, right? Allow you literally removing the chemicals that have caused this particular whatever it is to get moved out of your body and replace it with some better chemicals.
Moving the energy.
You're moving it, and we call it energy. You know what? Chemicals are definitely energy.
Everything
There's
is energy.
there's no doubt about it. TNT is a chemical.
Yeah.
Is a group of chemicals. That's energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
when we're moving energy in our own bodies, we're really moving chemistry, but the experience is energy. That's what's so key. You have to give it validation as an energy. It feels that way, as an experience. I love this conversation. It's really great. I think
there's so many
the nuances, right?
Big topics. And
well, I think where we're at right now is, and I think this is going to be a breaking point for us because we probably need to shut this down here.
Yeah.
But I think if we were to talk to the men in the room, the men that are listening in right now, like all the shit that you're going through in your life right now, this is something that has been, welcome to your life. Like you're going through it right now.
Yeah.
What I'm encouraging you to do, and what I think Lance is encouraging you to do, is to stop and listen.
Yeah.
To take a moment to assess, is this a real fear or is it irrational? If it's a rational fear, then you need to feel it and you need to sort it out. Like something needs to be done.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're just being dragged along by your emotions, like your emotions are fucking running your life, at some point you're going to have to grow up and figure this out.
Yeah.
Because emotions, we have emotions. Emotions shouldn't have us.
It's true.
Do you know? Like we should have emotions. Like I want to have love. There are points in my life where I want to have anger. Like I want to be able to feel these experiences, and I do.
Yeah.
But if I'm run by them instead of understanding them and living my life with them, you said manage. That's the perfect word for it. You can manage it. It's the 4 agreements. It's the, how to win friends and influence people. It's all the good stuff that we love, right? The stuff that we want to know, how to be in state. Tony Robbins talks about that. Jim Rohn talks about, managing your mind and your time and all these other things.
Yeah.
But man, when it comes right down to it, you've just got to become emotionally intelligent for yourself.
That's it. That's where it starts. Yeah. It all starts in here. You can't become emotionally intelligent for somebody else.
Nope.
You can guide them and give them some tools that you learn to manage yourself, but you have to be able to experience it on your own first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And set the goal.
Yeah.
And the goal could be,
don't respond from an emotional state. Yeah. Clear the energy of it. And when you do emotional release, what we're talking about, you're not getting rid of the emotion, you're getting rid of the energy around the emotion.
Right.
Right? So like this is the example I use when I teach this stuff, is anger is an emotion, it's a feeling, right? Rage is what happens when you get angry.
Yeah, it's the action.
Right? So it's the energy of the anger.
Right.
Right? So you're removing, what you would use emotional release for is to remove the edge, remove the rage, and then you can still feel your anger.
Yeah. Like
you can be angry and look calm. You can be angry and have a conversation. You can be happy and have a conversation. You move your energy.
Yeah.
You move the charge out of the way so that you can be present, bring yourself back to presence.
Yeah, and
respond from there.
Would you in the world of rage?
Yeah.
When we're talking about that, rage is emotional release. It is the release of the emotion in a way that's very impactful. negatively could be
sure.
considered negatively impactful.
Yeah.
However, if you are
By definition.
woke enough, right,
Yeah.
to emotional release, to use tools to release those emotions without rage being the
Well, do it in a safe way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, these tools. But if you can remove that emotional charge, the rage, without releasing the rage, like, you're fucking woke. That's a big step towards superpower.
Interesting.
In my opinion. Somebody who can actually do that in the moment and can do that in their life is like, that's woke. Let me just say it that way, I guess.
Managing.
You're able to manage your own emotions in a way that's powerful and that keeps people around you safe.
Yeah.
You and the people around you safe.
Yeah.
Like, that's powerful. So
Super powerful.
when it comes to people that ain't woke, and there's a lot of them out there, I think I'm probably still not woke in some ways.
Everybody's on the journey. There's different, everybody's at their, whatever their level of woke is. And so everybody's woke and everybody's not all at the same time.
We're human.
This is it.
This is the dichotomy of humanity.
So what do we do with that? We learn how to listen deeper.
Yeah.
And then we can meet in conversation.
I wish we had answers.
That's it. I think. I don't know. This podcast, this bubble that we're in, creating here, that we've created here, the answer is deeper listening.
Yeah.
And that's internal listening and external listening.
Yep.
I
agree.
That's my answer for this bubble that we're in.
I agree. I agree completely.
Yeah.
Love the conversation. I think we need to go further with it. And by the way, this is just as an aside, I wanted to mention this. The online course is starting up, online.justaddskill.com. If you'll go to online.justaddskill.com, you'll find out what it's all about. Just Add Skill is a program that Lance and I teach, and we're doing an online course starting on February 26th, 2020. So if you hear this beyond that, you probably already missed it. But you definitely want to go and register yourself into the program. It's a 6-week course. It is intensive. We have 10 men that are intended to be on the call with us. So there'll be a total of 12. It'll be a Zoom call. And we are going to dive into how to manage emotions, how to have real conversations and communicate with women, have adult conversations about sex, presence. We're going to teach exquisite touch. We're going to map out a woman's body and show you how to actually blueprint any woman's body. It doesn't matter if it's, your current beloved or someone who you're going to be with in the future, or past lovers that may come back. You'll be able to take their body and provide pleasure at exquisite levels. That's what Just Add Skill is all about.
Yes.
And it's part and parcel of how the Academy for Men intends to make a shift in the world for men and for women. And so you're invited to that. Again, online.justaddskill.com. Lance and I will be co-facilitating that. And then on the 28th and 29th here in Phoenix, February 28th and 29th in Phoenix,
we get the in-person version.
We're doing a live event. It's the first one we've done in Phoenix at this scale.
Yeah.
And again, it's Just Add Skill. It's 2 days. It's actually a day and a half. And you get all of the same things in a very shortened, very laser accurate, compressed experience. It's an experience. And we're going to, Miyagi the fuck out of you. I don't know if you know what that means, but
they might. They keep remaking that movie. So
Mr. Miyagi, yeah.
Yeah, no, the in-person experience is going to be really wonderful.
Yeah. And you can go to, I think it's register.justaddskill.com to register for that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, brother. This was great to get back on the mic again.
It's about time, right? Where you and I just did it.
Yeah.
Also, coming up in the next few months, we're looking to have some new podcasts come up that actually have some different guests involved. And you and I are we've been discussing a little bit about that. Yeah. So we'll be announcing that as we go. But we're looking forward to having some really powerful men come on, and women, There are a few
Yes.
women that we want to have a conversation with here as well, and Lori will be joining us in the next month.
Yeah.
So Tribal Fire Podcast is up and running and having so much fun. I
Love it.
Love having
Love
you
it.
here.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
No, I'm good this time.
Thanks for-
It feels good.
Thanks for bringing all that up,
Yeah.
man. That's great.
Yeah, it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just country music. I just
Country-
I don't get it.
It's pretty much when someone else is listening to it.
Jazz, I understand. Country music.
I got
is-
jazz, man. I love jazz.
I can't do country
Ugh.
music.